in departments, agencies and ministries who are expected to be serving the nation, but probably due to lack of proper oversight, the country is losing these substantial amounts of money. Adam Sananu has joined us on phone for a quick chat. Mr. Sananu, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, sir.
What do you make of the fact that the President of the Republic thinks that it has become one too many, that we are losing these monies, but little to no action is taken? We only hear cautions being given to those who supervise some of these losses, and then they go scot-free. The President is calling for a meeting between himself, the Auditor General, the Attorney General, the Chief Justice, so they can find some finality to this.
I think it's highly commendable. Indeed, I mean, many of us have felt that this charade of having a public account committee set highlight figures, and then a year after come back, highlight some more figures higher even than the previous year, with no seeming traction on retrieving the monies or persons who have been culpable, having been sanctioned and publicly, put to shame. It doesn't augur well for governors, because all it does is to feed into the impunity. So to have the president want to take lead on this matter, for me, it's highly commendable. And we are hoping that some of the things we've seen in other African jurisdictions, like in Kenya, where they have specialized courts, 12 of them focusing on corruption and dealing with these matters daily towards a conclusion within 6 months. I think that those are the kind of things that would dramatically change the landscape of anti-corruption and send a strong message to those who have continuously engaged themselves in defrauding the state, from recognizing that business cannot continue the same way.
And finally, which would you prefer, that we recover these monies from the individuals or they be jailed for it? Which would be better for us as a country?
This is not an either or. What is best is that you need all of these. You need, first of all, persons to be found guilty, and being guilty means that you will not be able to access or be privileged to participate in certain kinds of offices and roles. We also need to make sure that persons are jailed. The jail time is good as a sanction. We need to have a situation where monies are retrieved as close to 100% as possible. We need to even have fines so that you pay a certain interest on the money paid. It will be punitive enough that nobody wants to go near this. So we need to combine all these possible opportunities and avenues to ensure that we send a strong message and not just an either-or situation.
Mr. Sananu, thank you so much for your time on this issue. And like the President indicated, the meeting has been postponed to the 20th of October. So we'll definitely keep you posted on how it goes when that meeting does happen.
Let's now take you to the Ashanti region, where a concerted push is underway to overcome resistance to the new HPV vaccine. After some parents initially refused the life-saving shot for their children, health officials and school heads are now intensifying engagement efforts. The nationwide rollout targets children aged 9 to 14 to protect them from cervical cancer and other HPV-related diseases. Ibrahim Abubakar has this report from Kumasi on the campaign's progress.
It's day 2 of the HPV vaccination campaign in Kumasi, and the initial resistance from some parents appears to be softening. At several schools, the turnout was significant, a promising sign for public health officials. The high turnout at the State Experimental Basic School in Dakojom follows what school authorities describe as a crucial period of dialogue and reassurance with parents.
We explained the purpose of the vaccination to the parents. Even during the meeting, 4 parents could attest to the fact that they are actually experiencing cervical cancer, and they advise their colleagues that it's very important that they allow their children to take. Even I've received some calls from parents who are asking me to allow the girls to take it.
The story is similar at other schools, including Asafo AME Zion and St. Louis Demonstration Basic School. While the overwhelming response is positive, the choice by a minority of parents to opt out highlights the challenges that remains.
There are some we called and were able to explain what it's all about, and they have agreed. There are few we are still engaging, Some school heads didn't get the information to the parents early enough, so they are now still engaging the parents. Hopefully today and tomorrow, we'll be able to cover most of the schools in Kumasi.
The region is targeting over 400,000 eligible children, and the ultimate goal is to build a firewall of immunity for the next generation. The message from the top to every hesitant parent is one of assurance.
This is not the first time you are giving this vaccine in the country. A lot of people don't know. People go for it privately. It's available in some private facilities and around that people go and pay money and do. It doesn't cause infertility. It doesn't alter their sexual behavior. So we want to use this platform to allay the fears of all, genuine fears and concerns of all the parents, guardians, and the citizens, that these vaccines are safe, they have been tried and tested.
While the high turnout in Kumasi is positive, the real test will be sustaining this momentum across the entire region to ensure no child is left unprotected. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Earlier, my colleague Sarah Penkroy engaged some beneficiaries of the pilot HPV campaign, which was held 12 years ago, and has come through with this report.
The HPV pilot vaccination campaign, which was conducted in 2 phases from 2013 to 2015, targeted approximately 6,000 young girls 10 years old in each phase. Portia Kwame is among the young girls who took the vaccine during the pilot campaign. She tells me it was a battle for her family before they eventually allowed her to take the vaccine.
Back then, our parents and even the people from the community had concerns about the vaccine, that if we take it, we'll be either promiscuous or infertile. So I was afraid as at when I took it. But now, looking at the results now, nothing of that sort has happened. I'm grateful I took the vaccine because the vaccine has been proven to be effective and it protects us from cervical cancer.
22-year-old Mary, another beneficiary of the vaccine, is now a mother. She tells me her situation compelled the community members to dispel the myth that the vaccine will cause infertility among young girls.
Our mothers were not agreeing to do it. They thought it was a family planning vaccine, but it is not. I have a child now, even after taking the vaccine.
For residents of Ayenya, they had lost count of the time, a moment of confusion in their lives that will remain imprinted forever. Auntie Rosina is a parent who allowed her child to take the vaccine in the midst of the confusion.
I have 6 children and I forced one to take the vaccine. She has 3 kids now. The parents should allow their children to take the vaccine.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando is calling on parents and guardians to get the HPV vaccines for their wards to protect them against cervical cancer. His comments follow reports of some parents refusing to sign the consent forms, which enables the beneficiary children to get the jabs.
We have to begin to protect ourselves against the cancer at early stages. And Ghana is not the first country or the only country doing that. In the developed countries, even in Africa, Botswana, Rwanda, South Africa, they are all doing it. And even in Ghana, there are private people who are doing that, and we have piloted it here before. So the next stage is prevention, targeting the young girls. Then what I want to admonish all parents again is that we have made huge investment into this particular project, and it is in the interest of all of us to protect the current generation and the next generation. And so that is why I am calling on all parents and caregivers to bring their children. It's not harmful, and it is not part of any conspiracy theory to make somebody, infertile or somebody to control population or whatever. We hear this all the time, anytime we are bringing vaccines. And so we think that parents and caregivers should authorize their children to take the vaccines so that it will protect all of us against this disease.
We're staying on health-related matters now and still talk about what the minister has been talking about. Now, another promise, another visit, but will it finally bring results? The people of La are once again being assured that their long-awaited hospital will be completed. The Minister for Health on Thursday toured the reconstruction site of the La General Hospital and pledged that funds will soon be released to accelerate the stalled project. Health correspondent Sarah Penkro has come through with this report.
The La General Hospital redevelopment project would probably pass as one of the controversial projects that leaves much to be desired anytime it is mentioned. This is because accessing healthcare by residents of La and its environs has been a tussle for years despite numerous promises after the demolition of the old structure in 2020. After months of change in government, their hopes of seeing the project completed was nearly dashed as they longed to see commitment by the current government. The health minister, accompanied by the member of parliament for Ladadikotopon and the municipal chief executive, visited the project site on Thursday for a familiarization tour.
So we sincerely hope that the employer end can resolve the payment issues as soon as possible so that the construction can resume.
After a short briefing by the contractors, the minister and officials were taken around the project site to observe the progress made so far.
The second IPC has been raised and the Minister of Finance is committed into ensuring that funds are released for this project to progress. I am happy that today I've come to see the workers on site and they are willing to make progress until any payment is made. I think if everything goes on well, we should be done in the next 2 years.
Following the assurance by the minister, the contractor noted that they will be resuming work fully in the next few weeks.
They are actually on site. You've seen some of them. But obviously, their full work will resume as soon as they get payment because they need the resources to buy materials, pay workers and so on. So that would depend on how soon they are paid.
Member of Parliament for the area, Rita Na Udole Sowa, reassured her constituents government will see to the completion of the project.
We are here with the Minister of Health to give them assurance double sure because we followed up with the Ministry of Finance and a lot of work is going in for payment to be made shortly to enable them continue the project.
The residents can only be grateful for the government's efforts to ensure the completion of the project so they can easily access healthcare without struggle.
We are happy to see them come to the site. At least, we are confident that work will resume.
This hospital has been serving both, Osu, La, Teshi, Nongwa, because it's a big hospital. And since it was demolished, everything went down and people were, suffering to get access to some health facilities.
At least,
so we only want the best. We plead that as they have shown commitment, they should find money anywhere and complete it for us.
Out of
the 50 million euros needed for the project's completion, only about 12 million euros has been paid.
Away from health, the Vice President, Professor Jenano Pokwajiman, has called for a new era of global cooperation which is rooted in mutual respect and fairness. Speaking during a panel discussion at the Global Gateway Forum in Brussels, she said Ghana is open for cooperation but will, however, not take unfair partnerships. My colleague Evelyn Tingma reports from Brussels.
The Global Gateway Forum kick-started in earnest on Thursday. President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in a keynote address, said the EU's Global Gateway initiative has already mobilized over 306 billion euros in investments, exceeding its initial target of 300 billion euros by 2027. She, however, stressed the importance of genuine partnerships based on respect, shared interests and long-term commitment, citing the EU's collaborations with partner countries in Africa, Latin America and the Caribbean.
The Global Gateway Investment Hub is a single entry platform for companies to propose investments. A place where member states, development banks, export credit agencies and businesses come together to craft coordinated offers.
Vice President Professor Nana J. Poku-Agyeman said there is a need to redefine the basis of partnerships to ensure equal voice for fair terms.
For us as a country, it's a question of reversing the trend. It's a question of processing your own resources, your own primary commodities, and entering the market on good terms, on equal terms, so that, as I said at the beginning, the real peace of the world will be realized, hopefully.
She said it's about time African people seize the moment of power shifting in history and become self-reliant and agents of change to improve their economic conditions.
This is the time to create other ways of dealing with the problem. So it calls for a redefinition of the problem, a re-strategizing of options. In other ways, you can look at how you have been developing, in quotes, and how you can't develop. Why have you been at the receiving end for so long? And what is it that should change? And this is why I think that partnerships become very important.
The Global Gateway Forum brings together leaders from the EU and around the world to discuss investment needs, debate solutions, and launch new partnerships. Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Brussels.
To some other stories now. At the University of Ghana, the conversation on transforming Africa's food systems took center stage as policymakers, agribusiness leaders and young innovators gathered for the Agricultural Innovation for Africa's Conference 2025. The event, organized by the Cosmos Innovation Center, spotlighted young, youth-led, solution-driven sustainable agriculture in the face of climate change.
The event highlights the vital role of technology, youth entrepreneurship, and investment in driving agricultural transformation. Partners and sponsors include Cosmos Energy, Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and several private sector collaborators working to build resilient agri-value chains. The session featured keynote addresses and panel discussions focused on bridging the gap between innovation and implementation in agriculture. Speakers emphasized the need for inclusive growth, digital tools for farmers, and public-private partnership to unlock Africa's vast agricultural potential. Executive Director of Cosmos Innovation Center, Benjamin Jan Kesse, shared what the institute has achieved.
We currently have 81 funded startups that are in our community that we work with. And these are from all the partner universities and colleges that we work with, 16 of them. But in that, we have also trained thousands, literally thousands of young people across the country and given job opportunities and created jobs for over 50,000 young people across the country.
Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness, Dr. Peter Boamo Tokuno said, strategies are more important than putting money in ideas.
The biggest problem of policy failures in this country is that we put money ahead of the ideas and the strategies. It's the strategies that are important. We want to target 200,000 hectares. What strategy do we use to get these 200,000 hectares? First of all, let's secure the land. When we secure the land, let's look at land development. How do we mobilize resources to do land development? You have drip, the machines are there. You can do that land development. When you are done, you need inputs to develop the land. We have the inputs. Craig is producing the inputs for cocoa board. They have the seedlings. So you move the seedlings there. You need the young people to manage the various clusters. How do you handle them? Why he has initiatives to pay allowances to them.
In a strategic move that addresses both a social crisis and an environmental challenge, Ghana Textiles Printing, GTP, is supporting the Pure Part pilot project by donating its surplus and waste materials to use to produce reusable sanitary pads. The initiative aims to simultaneously fight period poverty across the nation and reduce industrial waste known as a contributor to climate pollution.
The project, spearheaded by Landfills to Landmarks in partnership with GTP and a few other organizations, seeks to intensify the fight against period poverty and keep girls in school. With over 40 tons of textiles repurposed and 10,000 pads produced every month, this project aims to support 2,500 schoolgirls with sanitary kits. The brand manager for GTP Ghana, Ruben Sam, expressed the company's commitment to supporting the project and ensuring its success.
As GTP, we stand to empower women to take life on. And if something as natural as period is going to affect the confidence of the girl child, we'll continue to support this project. This is only the pilot phase, and so we have set aside some amount of fabrics for this. When it kicks off and we get the feedback and we know how to fine-tune the whole project, we are committed to supporting this project and giving them the fabric that they need to make this a sustainable project.
Co-founder of Landfills to Landmarks, Samuel Oforijampo, touched on future plans for the project.
The unique thing about this project is that it is self-sustaining. So in every micro hub that we go to, with Ekopon Grace Prezi being the first one, we train 50 women, and these 50 women will produce on a monthly basis 10,000 parts. And we are targeting 2,500 women within these communities on a monthly basis to secure their menstrual needs.
He explained how the distribution would take place.
We've identified one school in the Chenora district where we are going to distribute to 77 girls from tomorrow. They'll be taken through counseling. And after tomorrow, we'll start building more women to start sewing from a consistent base to keep the momentum where we cover the whole Okre district. Then we'll move into another community. So this is the first district. We aim to scale it to cover the rest of the country.
Ultimately, this will help empower girls and restore the confidence that menstruation sometimes takes away.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3 now. You know that we are a very interactive media platform, so we want to hear from you. Certainly. Do have your say, because we want you to scan this QR code on your screen right now and be part of the EN Analytics poll, a nationwide survey on governance, political leadership, and key national issues shaping Ghana's future. Your voice matters. Your feedback drives data-driven insights for better governance. So it's very simple. Pick up your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and then you can fill out a brief questionnaire. Then we can get to know what exactly you'd want the nation to do regarding major national conversations. Be part of the national conversation, and let's make this happen.
Well, stay with us here on News 360. We have business news coming up next.
Activated charcoal and lemon essence. It removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Good evening. This is Business on News 360, and I am Minu Afol. Ghana's petroleum sector is facing significant headwinds, with a sharp decline in both crude oil production and corresponding revenue, a situation that could impact the funding of the government's crucial Big Push infrastructure program. Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Nsia, has stated that the Big Push program risks being cash-starved.
The Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, has revealed in its latest report that crude oil production dropped by 25.92%, falling from 24.85 million barrels in the first half of 2024 to 18.41 million barrels in the first half of 2025. This decline, combined with relatively lower international crude oil prices, led to a dramatic 56% reduction in total petroleum receipts. Revenue plummeted from $840.76 million in the first half of 2024 to just $370.34 million in the first half of 2025. The revenue shortfall is expected to severely constrain the funding allocated for the government's ambitious Big Push infrastructure development agenda. Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, CEMSI, Benjamin Nsia, fears the Big Push programs risk being cash-starved.
We've already realized about $148 million into the ABFA. So we are expecting that maybe the ABFA is likely going to realize about a little over $300 million for the year of 2025. And it means that we shall need in excess of 1.6 billion, which I think that mineral royalties may not be able to give us the $1.6 billion needed for this project.
Alarmingly, PIAC reported in its 2025 semi-annual report that there was no spending on the Big Push agenda in the first half of 2025.
No expenditure was incurred under government's Big Push program towards infrastructure development from petroleum revenue, even though an ABFA of $146.3 million was allocated.
PIAC's findings raise serious concerns about the sustainability of critical infrastructure projects and call for urgent measures to address the dual challenges of declining production and revenue management.
Really look at the numbers of projects on the Big Push and realign the new reality when it comes to revenue to these projects. I think we need to cut the numbers of these projects. In cutting the numbers, we are able to complete these projects on time. And when we are able to complete, it creates a lot of waste.
Away from that, Nestle Ghana Limited has honored its partners and distributors across the country for their dedication and contributions to the business's growth. The honors were given during the company's 2025 Distributor Conference and Awards Night held in Ho, the Volta region.
The ceremony, held at the Volta Serene Hotel in Ho, the Volta region, received a high-level attendance from business partners, company executives, and distributors from across the country. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, Managing Director of Nestle Ghana Limited, Mrs. Salome Azevedo, lauded the roles of distributors towards the business's growth.
Nestle Ghana has the privilege and the honor to have household brands that have been a part of Ghanaians for decades and more. And we appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. Today, we can say a big thank you to all our consumers that choose us every single day, and to our distributors that are with us in this journey. This year, it's a little bit extra special because we decided to do a big celebration, and just like any other big family, we decided together. So that's why we are here tonight.
She reaffirmed the company's commitment to invest in areas that drive sustainable development, emphasizing the goal to move beyond profits.
We will continue to invest in the same areas. We will continue to support strongly our brands in Ghana. The Nestle Group is actually extremely committed to continue to develop the business in Ghana. Besides that, I think the same investment across all the different areas. Our people, their people, which also are somehow our people. We have commitments towards sustainability, our communities, our planet. We work with farmers. We continue to support their families as well. And that's the journey that we will continue to develop in Ghana.
A good number of distributors went home with handsome rewards, including distribution vans, as the company moves to double brand visibility innovation, and its overall growth across the country.
Let's now take a look at what's happening on the forex and commodities markets. Well, that's it for Business Tonight on News 360. I am Minu Afo. Sports News is up next. Please stay with us.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. After a brilliant 5-0 win over Central African Republic, Ghana now have just one hurdle to cross with a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup seemingly ever closer as they prepare to host Comoros on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now, as 3 Sports build up to the final push, my colleague Billy Shen recounts Ghana's 5-star performance on Wednesday in this report.
The Black Stars produced what many have described as their best performance yet in the World Cup qualifiers, thrashing the Central African Republic by 5-0. It was a dominant display of attacking brilliance, with goals coming from Mohamed Salisu, Thomas Partey, Alexander Djiku, Captain Jordan Ayew and Kamaldeen Sulemana, a true reflection of Ghana's depth and dynamism in attack. Each goal showcased a fine blend of set-piece precision and open play flair as Otoado's men reminded everyone of Ghana's footballing pedigree. Defender Mohamed Salisu, who scored his 4th goal for the national team and once again found the net from a set-piece, spoke about his growing on-field connection with Mohamed Kudus.
With the corner kick, I always have the connection with Kudus. You know, he played the first one, but I think because of the sun, so I didn't get the ball good. And I know when the second one comes, I'm gonna get it. So I told him to play the ball in the second post, and then I managed to get there at the right time, and then, I put it in.
Among the scorers was skipper Jordan Ayew, who continued his incredible run of form. A 34-year-old has now been directly involved in 14 goals, scoring 7 and assisting 7, the most by any African player in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. After the game, Jordan said he felt a greater sense of responsibility as one of the senior figures in the team.
I'm at a stage where I needed to step up and to take more responsibilities, and I was aware of that, but obviously it all comes with hard work and determination, and obviously the encouragement from my family, my parents.
Back home in Accra, fans were all smiles as they watched the goals pour in, their confidence in the Black Stars' qualification chances growing stronger with every strike.
If they continue with the energy they had today, I believe they will qualify.
One of the best performances I've seen since this coach came. This is the best performance I've seen. Oh, nothing can happen. This one, the full assurance and trust. We have qualified. But by all means, we score Comoros here.
Oh, we already have the point already, but still we win against the Comoros. Comoros, they have never played a game before, but just that our players, we have the best players.
With Ghana sitting comfortably atop Group I on 22 points, the team now needs just a single point against Comoros to book their ticket to the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
In a decisive move aimed at improving the matchday experience for fans, the National Sports Authority has announced that no tickets will be sold after 3 p.m. on the day of the upcoming scheduled match for 7 p.m. on Sunday against Comoros. Now, speaking on the new directive, NSA boss Yao Ampofo-Ankra emphasized the measure is a direct response to crowd management issues faced during the September internationals where Ghana played Mali at home.
Noting that on match day, tickets will not be sold after 3 p.m. The match is at 7 p.m. And the reason for this is that we don't want the challenges we had the last time where fans were crowding around the stadium looking to purchase tickets. It must be very clear.
As usual, you can get more build-up and reactions ahead of that big one on Sunday between Ghana and Comoros right here with the 3 Sports team on social media, 3 Sports GH, and on 3 News/sports. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and up next on the bulletin is entertainment.
Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, gospel minister Irabana is urging fellow musicians to use their artistry and influence to support the poor and marginalized in society. Now, recently appointed as the ambassador for the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, that's DOVSU, of the Ghana Police Service, Irabana is expected to leverage her voice and platform to raise awareness, encourage reporting, and promote healing for victims of abuse.
Sarah, what he said will be, he will perform it.
Known for her powerful voice and message-driven songs, Irabana is now stepping into a new role as an ambassador for the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service. In this position, she will use her platform to raise awareness, encourage survivors to speak up, and promote healing for victims of abuse.
So if somebody is in a domestic violence atmosphere, somebody is living in an abusive area, sometimes it takes hope for the person to come out and ask for help. Because sometimes what you don't know won't kill you. They think, I don't know what I'm missing, and I don't want to know. So if I'm singing hope, this is a way to make it practical. So it is an opportunity to practicalize what I've been singing all this while.
She believes that music has the power not just to entertain, but to inspire change, and she's urging fellow artists to be a voice for the voiceless.
To somebody, it will be an ambassadorial deal, but to me it's a ministerial appointment because it's something that is on my heart. Gender-based violence can never be right, regardless who is doing it. Can never be right, regardless the religion. So it's to me an opportunity to champion a cause that brings joy to the heart of Christ.
For Irabana, true ministry goes beyond music. It's about impact, advocacy, and compassion. ACP Owusu-Atreme is the director of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit DOVSU of the Ghana Police Service. A news just coming in indicates that the wife and children of late High Life legend Charles Kwadwo Fosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, have filed an injunction against funeral arrangements announced for him. Now, the DL Radio on Wednesday, October 8, 2025, announced that December 6, 2025 has been set as date for the funeral of the late Daddy Lumba in Kumasi. However, Lumba's nuclear family, comprising his first wife, Akosua Sewa Fosu, and their children, claimed the funeral arrangements were made without their consent. Now, in a press statement issued on Thursday, October 9, 2025, the direct family described the funeral announcement of the musician as deeply distressing, saying they first heard of it on social media. We'll definitely bring you more updates on this particular story. And that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name, Noella Donko.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Thank you for your company.
I'm Ayisha Yakubu. Good evening.